Ladies and gentlemen, here we are with another episode of the A&C podcast presenting Pro Wrestling Unraveled. I'm your host today, Andrew Campbell. We also have in the house ECW original, Chili Willie.
Yo.
And our special guest today, he is none other than the original Mr. Wonderful himself. He is Rock Riddle.
Yes, Mr. Wonderful.
Well, Andrew, even though you paused when introducing yourself, trying to remember what your name was, I will say that you are no, seriously, that's okay. We have to think ahead sometimes. And I know that can be challenging, especially with someone like Chili Willie sitting there distracting you. And you did I'm about to pay you a compliment. You did a pretty fair job of announcing me. However, it wasn't quite good enough.
Oh.
So therefore, who else could introduce me? Could Chili Willie do a better job? I doubt it. Oh my goodness. I could introduce myself direct from his palatial estate, high in the hills of Hollywood, California. We present to you live and in person, the first, the only, the original Mr. Wonderful of professional wrestling, the diamond ring and Lamborghini man, the man who possesses the body that men fear and women love, the intercontinental lover, the Rolls Royce of wrestling, Rock Riddle!
Yeah. Now we talking.
Yeah.
Yes,
See,
sir.
Now.
Even I am impressed by that introduction.
You are awesome. No doubt.
Yes, sir.
Well, of course.
Rock
all right.
Riddle.
What do you want?
It's great to have you on today, man.
Of course.
I was listening to one of your podcasts a little while ago, and you're talking about your survival bag you always have in your car.
Yes.
Yes. Can you tell the story that about that?
Well, there are people who are prepared and there are victims. Even though the media, and the media plus teaches us to be victims, I never bought it. And people want, it's not my fault. I weigh 472 pounds. It's McDonald's fault. No, it's your fault. Assume responsibility, personal responsibility, guy. Let me stick you out in my guest house in the servants' quarters out there, lock you in a back room, feed you 1,000 calories a day, and let's see in 30 days how much weight you gain. I think, well, it's glandular. Yeah. Guess what? You're going to drop some weight because I will make it happen for you. I'm trying to stop smoking. No, you're not. I have a pin here in what you think is my right hand. This is actually my left hand. This is my right. That's my left. But I'm going to reach with my right hand, which you think is my left hand. You have to hold up a mirror to me, look at the mirror image, then it turns around correctly. Number one, I have not picked up the pin with his hand. Number two, I have picked up the pin with his hand. Number three, I'm trying to pick up the pin. No, you either do or you don't. As little Yoda said, there is no try. So what was the question? How did I become so incredibly handsome?
No.
In such a short amount of time?
Your
awesome.
survival bag story.
Okay. Yes. Well, we always have our wrestling bag with us, no matter where we are. We go on vacation. We're just going to go on a long weekend. Hawaii. Let's go to. Yes, we were just there 2 weeks ago, but let's go again. All right. And guess what? Being a professional wrestler, once you were there, someone's going to find out that you were there, and there may be a promotion somewhere on those islands. And it's like, Rock, do you have your gear? Excuse me? Rock, do you have your gear? Is a 5-pound canary fat? Yes, of course. Yes, I am a professional, of course. Now, being prepared means having a survival or a go bag in your car.
Mhm.
And what do you have in there? What would you need? What happens if you're doing something like Rock Riddle would do, working out of Minneapolis, AWA, American Wrestling Association, Vern Gagne's organization. And I'm going from Minneapolis, actually Brooklyn Park, which is a suburb where I rented this amazing townhome while I was there. Great money, great money. And I know I'm going to Green Bay, Wisconsin that night, and it's through a blizzard. I look on the map. There used to be something called maps before GPS took charge.
Right.
Mhm.
Exactly.
See, I told you were older than me, and you remember. So I looked on the map. There's almost a direct route straight across. It's not a main route. It's through a national forest. And I said, that's the shortest way. That's great. I won't run into traffic. I'll make good time.
Mhm.
I was on that road doing nicely. The only prints, the only tire tracks in the snow were mine. It was incredibly cold. I think the blizzard, during that blizzard, it got down to minus 40-degree wind chill.
Mm.
So yeah, it was great. My little Carmen Ghia, which is a little Volkswagen sports car. When other cars had heaters connected and the people would try to start them in the morning, they go, I didn't have a heater on my little Carmen Ghia. I put the key in and said, and drive away. I'm going through this national forest. I'm thinking, this is fantastic. No restrooms here, but I can stop in the middle of the road. I haven't seen another car. Then a couple of deer come out to watch. And they said, you're just like, can I do that joke anymore? I know we lost freedom of speech decades ago. I said, you're just like so many female humans. Anyway, it was Andrew who told me to do that joke. And I told him, I said, Andrew, that is not going to be funny. No one's going to laugh at that. It is actually insensitive and it's cruel. And he says,
we're going to get a lot of hate mail for that.
That's why. I said, you seem like you're a misogynist. And he says, yeah, I like that.
Wow.
I said, wait a minute. Misogynist and massage are different. I used to think psychic and psycho were the same. That's a joke too. Chili Willie said to do that joke.
No doubt.
Chili Willie, how did you get your name? We'll get to that in a moment. So on the way back, same thing. I went through the national forest and I'm watching the snow come down and off of the head. Beautiful, beautiful scene. And then when I mentioned it, I was new to the area. When I mentioned it to one of the boys, everyone knows what that means, term of endearment for additional wrestlers, whether they be male, female, whatever their nationality is and background and what have you. They're all boys. We're the boys.
Mm-hmm.
The lady wrestlers, they're the boys. Okay,
Right.
so everyone send money to PayPal. When you go to PayPal, rock@hollywoodsuccess.com. Because you're getting so much out of this, you should thank me. You can think of it as making a donation to the Rock Riddle Benevolent Fund.
Exactly.
which is an umbrella organization, which includes, in fact, if you go on YouTube and you put Rock Riddle ALS, what was it? Bucket Challenge.
Ice Bucket Challenge.
Ice Bucket Challenge. There you go.
Mm-hmm.
I went out there and I talked about that. I said, I have heard nothing except ALS so many times. I've been challenged by so many people. They said, Rock Riddle, wrestle a bear. I wrestled a bear. They said, Rock Riddle, wrestle Andre the Giant. They said that many times. I wrestled him many times. They said, wrestle this world champion. I did all of that. So then on camera, I said, now I have been challenged by so many, many people. But I thought, why do we keep hearing about this? I'm going to put it to rest because it's all I hear about is all that's on social media. So I'm going to find out how much money ALS has raised. And the difference between what they've raised and $100 million I will contribute. And then I went online and I saw that they had already raised over $100 million. So I thought, well, they don't need any more. How about a really good charity? Everyone who gave money to them, double what you gave. And I'm challenging every man, woman, and child on this planet to give at least twice as much as you can possibly afford to the Rock Riddle Benevolent Fund. That's an umbrella. Take three. Oh!
And you had me going.
Only Rock Riddle can do that. Oh, only Rock Riddle can hurt Rock Riddle. It's like Superman hitting himself and ow.
Right.
That's an umbrella organization which encompasses the Buy Rock Riddle a Private Jet Fund, the Buy Rock Riddle a Private Estate, a Private Island in the Western Caribbean Fund, the Rock Riddle Fund to fund the Rock Riddle Funds Fund, and a few others. So on that, when you find that video and you watch that, you'll say, wow, that's pretty amazing. I think I'll send the money. No. That's my old office address. It won't get to me. I still have an office in Hollywood, California. No. Oh, have you seen what's happening to California, to Hollywood, to, oh my gosh, people still have this image of Hollywood in their minds. I figured it's better to cough than to press the cough button here on the microphone. Yeah,
there you go. There you go.
They'll say, he really is human. I am not. You earthlings want to insult a Pleiadian? Look, I came 444.2 light years to this backward planet. The least you could do is not call me an earthling. What's the new movie that's on? The new TV series, Resident Alien. Pretty interesting. Interesting. So if you haven't watched it, you have to watch every episode. I do. And I hate everything. It's like Mikey. Mikey won't like it. He hates everything. Oh, Mikey likes it. Rock thinks that so far, Resident Alien is pretty good. Yes, there's the propaganda in there and the programming of the audience, but we hopefully can look past that. It's not real heavy in that one, like it is in so many others. One of the boys told me, he said, you took the road through the national forest? And I said, yeah. He says, I hope you at least had one of those big candles with you. I said, no. He said, what would have happened? How many cars did you pass? I said, none. It was great. He says, what would have happened had your car broken down? You would have frozen to death in a very, very short period of time. You need to be prepared. And I said, what do I have in there? So I went through and I had food. I had water. I actually did have a candle, not the one I should have, but I corrected that. So it's like whatever you need. And if you are someone who believes that you have the right to protect yourself, as opposed to when seconds count, law enforcement is only minutes away, half an hour away, hour away. If there's civil unrest, they don't show up at all. Please don't kill my husband. The police will be here in 22 minutes. they can call for the coroner also, and the coroner can examine the body. So if you are one of the people who believe that you have a right to defend yourself in by whatever means is necessary, only whatever is necessary, then there are other things that you will have with you, like extra ammunition, like a backup defensive weapon, tool, a backup defensive tool, ammunition for that as well. You never know. I teach firearms. You didn't know that, did you?
No,
I'm a firearms instructor also. I'm a private pilot also. I do a lot of, I'm a scuba diver. What else am I? I lost 10 points of IQ. It used to be 147. Now it's down to 137. If you had called me before, I never would have done this show. Chili.
No doubt.
He has a heart of stone.
Heart of
ice, frozen. And that's how they called him Chili Willie.
Ooh.
I don't like this person. He should be eliminated. Get Chili Willie. He enjoys it. Otherwise,
See?
why would he have such a name? It's Chili Willie.
You should have been my manager for sure.
Ooh.
I am a publicist also. I'm probably, well, I wouldn't say I'm the, now so many have fled Hollywood, but even before, I would not say that I was necessarily the best publicist in Hollywood, but I never met whoever was in second place. I'm an incredibly good publicist. I do press releases, and I'm very specific. I don't know, this is not your permission to say, oh, Rock, would you be my publicist? Because the answer is probably no way.
No. Mm-hmm.
And should you give up and you let that stop you? You never let anything stop you.
That's right.
That's right.
I don't have a problem saying no. And I keep time for myself, but I am a Hollywood publicist and I do write wonderful press releases. The titles, the headline has to grab the people. All of the word, every single word means something. It takes me 4 days. If I hold it up like this, it's only 1 day. But if I, never mind. It takes 4 days to write a press release. Benjamin Franklin, and I know that I don't know. Maybe Andrew won't remember, but maybe Chili Willie will. And, who was it? Benjamin Franklin wrote a letter to, was it Jefferson? To Jefferson. It was a 2-page letter, and there was a PS at the end. It says, the PS said, I'm sorry this letter was so long, I did not have time to write a shorter one. Yeah.
Okay.
See, Chili Willie didn't even say anything about that potential insult. I don't think he got it.
No.
Okay. I talk to certain friends of mine and I say, well, tell me what it was like when you were growing up. Did you, I guess you like walk to school, or when it was snow, you would be on a sled or a horse? Do you have like horses and buggies? I mean, that was before automobiles were invented, right?
That's cool. That is cool. That's sweet.
You know,
so Mr. Riddle, go ahead.
No,
sorry,
don't say Mr. It's Rock. So you know that Hulk Hogan hates me, right?
Oh no.
No.
When I don't run into him that frequently, but when I do, I'll tell you the last time he looked at me and he says, I hate you. And I said, you mean because of my hair? And he says, your hair? I hate you because of your hair. I said, but Terry, it's so difficult to maintain. In the wind, it blows and stuff. You remember, don't you?
He probably said, yeah, brother, I remember. But I have a question. How did you get started in wrestling? I mean, what was your first invitation to wrestling, pro wrestling?
Well, how did I get involved in professional wrestling? When I was a little kid, I was dropped on my head and I regressed from there. That's one of the answers. The true answer is
like all of us.
It takes very, very special people to climb into that professional wrestling ring. That is sacred ground. It is, even now for me, after thousands and thousands of matches, it's still an absolute honor. When I step between those ropes, I step into that ring, I step onto that sacred ground, even if it's training someone or the occasional time that I go in. I may be doing another match in September in Vegas. Yes.
Okay.
Can't tell you who, but I've been talking to someone, seeing if I could line it up. And if I were to give you any kind of a hint, it would probably spoil it. Will be in September in Las Vegas, CAC, caulifloweralleyclub.org. All wrestlers should be there. Fans, it's not a fan fest, it's a reunion for professional wrestlers. You'll see many, many, many dozens, hundreds actually, of professional wrestlers, many of whom you grew up watching, and it's your opportunity because they haven't barred. They let fans in. So no. Even though it's reunion now, they decided they wanted to have more money since they're a philanthropic organization and they help a lot of people. They're a 501c not-for-profit corporation, and they really do good stuff, good things for people. For wrestlers who were major stars before and then did not save their money and have maybe hospitalization, something like that, without the money to cover it all. And CAC will say, okay, what's the amount that we need to come up with? Let's have a board of directors meeting. Here's all of the information. Here's the people who know about it firsthand. All right, let's send this person, let's send them $50,000 or $10,000 or $5,000 or whatever it happens to be to help them. Right. Here's someone we want to honor, a major name star. And when they got in touch with this major name star, whom I will not name for obvious reasons, they found that he was in the financial doldrums, so to speak. And he did not have the money to come out to Vegas. So they paid for him to come out to Vegas, paid for his ticket, paid his expenses while he was there, gave him a little more, and presented him with an award because he absolutely deserved it for the contribution he made to professional wrestling.
Nice.
Now, before I got off on caulifloweralleyclub.org, tell them Rock Riddle sent you. It doesn't matter. Right. I don't care. And I give them money. So what was the question before that? How did I get involved in this professional wrestling business? Was that it? Say yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, definitely.
Do you remember? I don't remember. Has that been more than 10 minutes ago? I can't remember.
It's okay.
Hey, did I ever tell you that sometimes my memory is good for about 10 minutes?
That's all right. That's all good, man.
What?
It's good. It's good.
Hey, Chili, did I ever tell you that my memory, I think sometimes is good for about 10 minutes?
Yeah. You just told me.
Just told you what?
I don't know. My memory just jacked up too.
What? Hello?
Yeah.
Hello? Why am I seeing people's pictures on my phone? All right. I was a shy, skinny kid. When I was 14 years old, I weighed maybe 125 pounds, if that. And I would sit in the back of the room. I wanted to disappear. I didn't want the bullies to see me, which made them see me more. I was very shy to the point that if the teacher, and this was, I'm saying 14, but it's all the way up to 14, or past 14. If the teacher were to say, Rock, what is the cube root of 27? And if I thought that I had to answer aloud, probably would not be able to speak. And to show you how far I came. And my biggest fear, I knew if the teacher called on me for something and said, come to the front of the class to answer this question, I knew that I would physically die before I got to the front of the class. So that's how shy I was. Fairly uncoordinated, but not terribly coordinated. And I wasn't built for professional sports. Throw the baseball. I don't know. Why would I want to throw it? And it goes not here, but it goes over there somewhere. Okay. I don't want to do that. That's dumb. Maybe it's because you don't know how to do it right well. I don't see the purpose. Oh, so 14 years old. I remember in the back of the class one day to finally get around to answering your question. There's these kids. The teacher has not come in yet, and the kids are cutting up like kids will. And this was in North Carolina, where I grew up. And they're saying, they ought to kill them. They ought to drive them out of the state. They shouldn't be allowed to wrestle nowhere in this state. They call us a bunch of ignorant dirt farmers. I said, okay, what are they talking about? Yeah, I mean, wrestlers at Rip Hulk and Swede Hansen. They ought to be drove out of here. Man, if I ever got him, I'd love to take that deer hunt gun out of the back of rack on my truck. I'd chase him out of here. That's for dang sure.
Mhm.
So what they were saying was that they had hatred, true hatred for two human beings, two professional wrestlers by the name of Rip Hawk and Swede Hansen. I had never seen professional wrestling. I had no idea. And I was really surprised that they were that angry.
Mhm.
I mean, people would say, Hitler was a bad guy. We don't like him. But that was nothing compared to how they came across with Rip Hawk and Swede Hansen. It's like take Hitler and to the 10th power. That's how they thought about these guys.
Wow.
So the following Saturday, I was sitting in my living room on an oriental rug, middle of the room, at 11 o'clock Saturday morning. I can't remember the name. Give me a moment. I'll probably remember the call letters. But Charlie Harville was the announcer. He was a big deal guy in that section of the country. He was a major star. He was the news anchor and made all the announcements, had live programs. He's on there conducting or doing interviews with professional wrestlers, and it's a wrestling matches included, and it's live. It's not a 6-second delay or a 7-second or 10-second delay. It's boom. The moment that the fingers are snapped, they're snapped at home. And there were two wrestlers who came out, George Becker, former world champion, and Johnny Weaver, who was married to Penny Banner, if you know those names. They were like deities in the South, probably more than the South, but all I knew was the South. And I was amazed. I was blown away, actually, because here came this girl out who was not a movie star, not a television star, like a regular person.
Mm-hmm.
And she was about my age, maybe a year older. And she was the president of the George Becker and Johnny Weaver fan club. She and two other people about the same age. And I'm saying, how in the world did they get on television? They're not movie stars.
Right.
They're not television stars. They're like regular people. And they made a presentation to George Becker and Johnny Weaver. They gave them a plaque of appreciation, and they handed them one of these big plastic, old style plastic radios. And Rip Hawk, bleached blonde, tan, bigger than life, amazing energy, great charisma. It's the kind of person, he steps into a building of tens of thousands of people, and everybody stops and looks over. He walks into a restaurant. 50 people could have gone in and out before him. Nobody paid any attention to any of those 50. He walks in and everybody knows him, or they know he's someone special.
Right.
So Rip Hawk went over to Johnny Weaver and he says, hey, Weaver, that's really good there. You on the mic, he said, you got the fan club and stuff. I'm happy for you. You got the plaque. Could I see the gift that they gave you? Johnny Weaver doesn't trust. Johnny Weaver's nice sweetie pie, and Rip Hawk's the bad guy. So Johnny Weaver doesn't quite trust Rip, and Rip says, but Weaver, I'd just like to see, if you don't mind, I'd like to see the gift that they gave you. You have a fan club. That's so amazing. Let me just for a moment.
Nice.
Very reluctantly, Johnny Weaver hands Rip Hawk this great, large plastic radio. Rip puts it way over his head, slams it down on the concrete, breaks into 100 pieces, stomps the pieces at that point, and there's this great melee. I'm sitting in my living room on the floor with my eyes like open like this and my jaw like this. What I perceived as this happened, as then Rip was interviewed, as they had a wrestling match, my perception was Rip Hawk is one of the most hated men in the world, and he is experiencing such joy that he is so hated that he's doing everything he can to prevent himself from smiling. That's how much joy this is giving him.
Mm-hmm.
I looked at that. I said, Rip Hawk and Sweet Hansen, they're cocky, they're condescending, they're arrogant. Finally, I have role models.
Right.
Being the shy person I was, I also desperately needed attention, I to be acknowledged. And I thought, what could I do? That day changed my life.
Mm-hmm.
Rip Hawk changed my life.
Okay.
Seriously did. So I said, what can I do? I can start a fan club. I'll start a fan club for Rip Hawk and Sweet Hansen, the two most hated people on the planet. Yeah, I could get a lot of heat, so to speak, if I started I don't know, giving the name of some bad guy, Mussolini fan club, Hitler fan club, something like that. But no, Rip Hawk and Sweet Hansen are truly hated more than anybody else. I'll start the International Rip Hawk and Sweet Hansen Fan Club. Our motto, fair, square, modest, and honest.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, fast forward. I go to my first wrestling match in Greensboro, North Carolina.
Mm.
I'm 14. I'm standing out there with a couple of my little buddies who are also picked on by the bullies, so we sort of stuck together a little bit. I was going to say stuck. Then it would have to be stipulated. Okay, we stuck together. And I'm out there. We're trying to get close to the dressing room entrance so that we can see the wrestlers if they're, oh my God, that's Gene Kiniski. Oh my gosh. He's way bigger than I ever thought. He's the world champion. Oh, so for some reason, I have my card out, my fan club card. The announcer who works on television and is announcing that night, he comes over, he says, what do you have there? I said, I have a card. And he said, oh, let me take a look at that. Oh, Rip Hawk Sweet Hansen Fan Club. He says, hold on a moment. I'm going to take this down and show Rip.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I can make the color go out of my face right now by reliving it.
Wow.
But I thought, do I run?
Mm-hmm.
What do I do? Because Rip Hawk may not see the humor in this.
Right.
And he may not be happy. And by the time I was deciding, do I bolt out of here and cower it out and run? Or do I, there comes the announcer and Rip Hawk coming toward me.
Oh, shit.
Rip Hawk says, hey, kid. Yes, sir? This fan club thing. Yes, sir? You serious about that, kid? Well, sir. He says, because if you're serious, I'll help you. I'll get you pictures on myself and the Swede.
Nice.
Man.
It's like Pinch Me, my ultimate hero, just said he would help me. I started this thing as a joke. He saw the humor in it. He saw something in me also, which he'd let me know later on. On my 16th birthday, in the next hour, I'll finish this answer to your question. On my
That's okay.
On my 16th birthday, I made the decision I will become a professional wrestler. Here's the difference. Although I did not know that other people did not have or utilize this ability, when I said I will become a professional wrestler, that wasn't just a joke. That was a commitment. I had no plan B because failure was not an option, and never did I have any doubt at all that I would not achieve it. I remember telling my barber in this Graham, North Carolina, old regular house with a little house added on, looked like a larger porta potty, just a small room, one barber chair. So I was in there and he was cutting my hair, and I told him I'm going to be a professional wrestler. He said, boy, that's one of the stupidest things I ever heard anybody say. Shoot, man. you'd have to gain 100 pounds. Your bone structure's too small. It's a pipe dream and ain't never going to come true. Why don't you just get yourself a job like your daddy? I mean, he ain't no pharmacist or nothing. He's like a soda jerk, but he's been working in that drugstore since he's 14. He's going to have that house paid for in another 8 years. Hell, boy, I don't know why anybody won't leave the county. You got everything you want right here. Yes, if I wanted to grow tobacco or make hosiery at Burlington Mills, I had everything I wanted. And if I wanted to surround myself with ignorant people who did not know how to English language properly, but I used to talk like I figured it out. You can't do it, Rock. Wait a minute. Can't. How am I supposed to say that? Can't. Oh, that sounds so dumb. Okay, say it again. I can't. So I taught myself how to speak English properly, and now I have pretty close to a standard American dialect. Mm-hmm. I weighed about 128 pounds. I wrestled on the 132-pound weight class. And when I really beefed up, I got up to a 145-pound weight class because I just was a little bit above the other one. It was less than 5 years later. Already have my high school diploma at 17. Got through college in Florida in 3 years by going year round. My degree's in criminology and law enforcement. Ta-da! Did I ever do that? No. Privately. Investigative detective, surveillance type work, bodyguard type work. I bodyguarded some celebrities. That was fun. And people don't know that either. But they will once they purchase the best book that they will ever read. It will change their lives. And the short title is Simply Wonderful. Let's see here if I have that so that I can just punch a button and you can blow. That's not it. Where's this? The book.
Ah, nice.
Okay, put me up big so they can see it. Simply Wonderful. The choice. Serial killer, suicide, or legend. Welcome to my universe. An intimate and brutally honest autobiography by professional wrestling's original Mr. Wonderful, Rock Riddle. Yay, me. Okay, let's take that away. And you're probably...
I want a copy. I want a copy of that.
Yes, sir.
All right. But the $1,700 honorarium that you're paying, I should not give them the real figure. The $3,000 honorarium you're paying to have me on your show, it does not cover the books. Okay. My intention, this book is going to be well over 800 pages. It may be over 1,000 pages. It may be in 2 volumes. And the way I'm going, it may even be larger than that. However, my deadline, self-imposed deadline for it is CAC, Cauliflower Alley Club Professional Wrestlers Reunion. I'd like to have books there, and I'd like to have those so I can go up to my closest friends for decades in this industry and sell them a copy at retail plus tax.
Nice.
So hopefully, if all goes well, I will have the books by September. Also, being a film producer, take a look at my credits on IMDb, Internet Movie Database. Yes, being in front of the camera, behind the camera. I think there are 5. I'll have to look very honestly. 5 different film projects where I have producer credit that are upcoming, that are anywhere from in development to in active development to at least one that's in pre-production.
Wow.
Interesting. And
nice.
rockriddle.info, rockriddle.info. If you want to see my latest feature film where I worked with Eric Roberts and had top billing over Eric Roberts. And he signed off on it, by the way. Super guy. But nice. Take a look on rockriddle.info. I think it's on the main page toward the bottom. You'll see the big poster with this gorgeous face. And you click on it and it shows you the trailer. Okay. And then if you see the trailer and you want to talk again sometime, I'm not going to give you the deal that I gave you this time, but you want to talk again sometime, you come up with enough money, and then you can ask me questions about the trailer. Oh my gosh, Rock, who wrote that script? What you saw was not in the script. How did that happen? Okay, and we can do the story about all that sort of thing. All right, so in less than 5 years after I was in the barber's chair, I had already begun professional wrestling. When I was in college, I was eating and going back to my car between classes, and there was a protein drink called Nutriment with vitamins and minerals. You'd shake it up. I had an ice chest. I would drink one of those. I just gained so I could get big, so I could wrestle. And I had started professional wrestling. Then I was back in my old hometown. I was one of the promoters. Talking with the other wrestling promoters, and I said, you know something? You do one in Alamance County, North Carolina. We will, I promise you, we'll sell it out. And they said, sell it out? Okay, you're going to be main event. I was main event versus, remember this name from before? George Becker, former world heavyweight champion.
Wow.
I beat him. By the way, didn't weigh 135 pounds anymore. 236 pounds of twisted steel and sex appeal. One of the secrets, I am and always have been since I made that determination on my 16th birthday. When I was 16, I saw what I would be, and I became a fan of that person.
Right.
There is, and I'll come back and finish up the story in just a moment, but people ask me, in your decades of professional wrestling, Rock Riddle, do you have any regrets? You seem to be a pretty happy guy.
Yeah.
And your quote is, every day above ground is a good day. So you're smiling a lot. Do you have any regrets at all? And my answer is, I have one regret only. And that regret was that I was never able to sit front row ringside and watch myself in the ring. And they laugh when I say that. And then I don't laugh. I don't smile. I said, no, I'm serious, because I am my biggest fan. I am the president of my virtual mental fan club. I love what I created. I love that character, which is a person, which is three-dimensional. And it's like, well, how close are you to the Mr. Wonderful persona that you created? How did you create that persona? We can get to answer that if you like also. And I said, well, it's real easy. I have to be careful that I don't bring, because it's so close to the surface, that I don't bring Mr. Wonderful out at inappropriate times, because I can be quite confrontational. Have someone in my face, they don't know who I am. They don't know what I can do. They don't know what I have maybe on my hip, and that would never be needed anyway. But I went into Disneyland one time. You can't take anything into Disneyland. That's a tactical pin. No, it writes, yes, but it could be used as a Yawara pin. You can't take that. I said, great, throw it away. Sounds like $20. I don't care. Oh, well, okay. I said, but before you throw it away, let me break it so no one else will use it. We wouldn't want someone using a Yawara stick, would we? And actually, I had something else, not a firearm, but I had something else that I couldn't take in. I went back to the trunk of the car and locked it in the trunk. Came back and I said, all right, let's go through this metal detector again. Let's go through the search again. And they said, do you have anything that you shouldn't? I said, no, I did not have anything I shouldn't initially. That's simply a judgment call on your part. But I am a little concerned that maybe you won't let me bring something in. I said, you see these? Pretty deadly.
Lethal weapon.
Professor Tora Tanaka and I had an accelerated self-defense school for people in the entertainment industry, including Sly Stallone, which many people don't broadcast it because we did it in a building that had no windows by design. The stories I can tell you there. Oh, so many stories about, and talking to you about Terry Funk working in Paradise Alley, the movie with Sly Stallone, and how I was offered that initially and all the changes. And Sly was so sad when he had to change it. He was so reluctant to tell me because he and I worked out together a lot and stuff.
Oh.
And I said, Sly, it doesn't matter. What does matter is this. What's best for the film? If me being in it in a larger role is best for it and doing the choreography, wrestling choreography for you, as you initially thought, that's fantastic. If me not being in it at all is better for the film, fantastic. I'm still happy. If you want me to be there to run for coffee and donuts, and whatever can be best. And he was amazed. It's like, you don't have this massive ego. Yes, I have this massive ego when I step into the ring or step in front of a camera related to professional wrestling. But in so-called real life, I'm a business person. And if I work for you, I work with you in order to help bring your vision to life on the screen. And if I'm not the person for it, that's fine. And there were good reasons that he decided that he had to. He was forced, really, to put Terry in there, and I told him afterward, I said, Sly, I am so grateful, thankful, and happy that you hired Terry Funk. He did a brilliant job. He did so much better than I would have. So good for you. And I think Sly really appreciated that. In fact, in the book, I'm going to put a bunch of pictures of myself and celebrity friends in the wrestling business and the acting business. And I just realized that I don't have any pictures. All the time that Sly and I spent together, we never thought to get a picture together. So now Sly has, as most smart, oh boy, people won't like this, as most really intelligent, eyes wide open California residents know, and are doing, Sly just sold his stuff, his place in California, and now he lives in Florida. Oh my gosh, Rock, don't say Florida's a free state. Then they'll really be upset. Oh, you mean I can't say he moved to a free state? Do I hear a dog? Who has a dog? Throw something at that dog. No, it'll be noisier. So I beat back to the story. Who's that? Who's responsible?
That's me. I'm here in the Philippines, so you have to excuse all the extra noise.
Are you serious? You're in the Philippines?
Yes. I'm broadcasting from the Philippines.
Fantastic. You know, you can get a microphone that won't pick up the background noise.
I haven't gotten to that point yet.
Maybe if all your viewers and listeners, depending on their quality, if they would make a donation, maybe I could. They donate. They go to PayPal. They look for Rock, ROCK, at HollywoodSuccess.com. They make a great large donation to me, and if they mention A&C podcast, I tell you what, I'll seriously consider giving you a percentage. How's that?
Oh, I love you, Rock. I love you. So I can get that microphone that won't pick up the extra noise and the jeepneys and the trikes here. But I love that noise. I love it.
I want to know, what city are you in the Philippines?
I'm in Angeles City, Pampanga.
Okay. Send me a message. I wanted to have to look and see exactly where you are, because maybe when I come out there, because I'm really interested in coming out. I found a restaurant that's, I don't know which island. I know you have a few islands out there.
Oh, yeah.
It's a mansion where it's way off the beaten path. It's like a one-lane dirt road part of the way out there. And you think, oh my gosh, this is a horror movie and I'm going to get killed. And then when you get there, all of a sudden you go up to a gate and I guess you press the button on the gate and you tell them who you are. And if you have the reservation ahead of time, they open the great gate, and inside are two mansions, but one mansion is now an amazing restaurant, and they only take one order for lunch. Could be 20 people, but they
Okay.
only take one order for lunch, one order for dinner. I saw that on YouTube and I have written it down in my notes somewhere. And
Okay.
I said, okay, here's my excuse. Plus, I know all the women would be chasing me, but that happens everywhere. So not a lot I can do about that.
I'll research that. Definitely.
Don't research the women.
Oh,
Never mind.
yeah. You're late on that one.
I was just going to say, I heard that you researched virtually everyone on your island, at least already, spilling out over other islands.
Yeah, but it's a great place. You should visit. You should definitely visit.
I will. Again, I'm serious when I say this. I kid around a lot, but stay in touch with me because you can give me a guided tour, feed me.
Yes, sir, definitely.
I'll come back and be so heavy that the plane will be leaving. Of course, as a private pilot, I should fly myself down there. Yep.
Yeah, wow.
As soon as, let me think. Everyone write this down. SYBERJET.com. Cyberjet.com. Buy me one. Donate it to me. Plus donate enough money for insurance and a hangar and fuel and stuff like that. And in fact, if you on the ANC podcast, if you decide that you want to buy me, in addition to paying me my honorarium, you want to buy me that amazing private jet, then whenever I am not utilizing it for personal flights, I will seriously consider taking you somewhere. All you need to do is pay for the fuel and the insurance and my time and the wear and tear on the aircraft. What a great guy I am.
So I'll take you from Burlington to Raleigh, North Carolina. That's about far as I can get on that. That's about far as I can get on that. But
wait a minute. Why did we bring up Burlington? Oh, I guess I mentioned that already.
Yeah.
So I was back in the barber's chair after the next day after that match. We had a little bit of a riot. It was under control. I by that time, I knew how to control them. I started so many riots. I started a riot when I was 14 as a fan.
Wow.
And Jim Crockett, and I was at another match shortly thereafter. I think maybe Charlotte, and Jim Crockett came up to me, the promoter, famous promoter. Jim Crockett Jr. just passed away.
Yes.
His dad was the major promoter at that point. He walked up to me and he said, all right, if I recall correctly, put his hands on my shoulder, leaned in. He says, this is not Burlington. You don't do that here. No problems with you. I said, okay. Because I had been in front row ringside in Burlington, North Carolina, when they had wrestling, and Rip Hawk and Tweed Hansen were in the main event. And I had a walking cane I had brought with me. And I told Rip, I said, I have this if you want it. And at one point he said, where's that walking cane? And I handed it gleefully to him, whereupon he destroyed the good guy favorites. And the police had to escort me out for my own safety. I was sitting there with my International Rip Hawk Sweet Hansen fan club jacket on. I don't know of any other 14-year-old fan who had that much insight. I've been very lucky. When I was 16, I have to tell you this, and then we finish up on that particular question. When I was 16, I was at the Greensboro Coliseum again. And at that point, I still weighed maybe 130 pounds. Wrestling 135-pound weight class. And Rip Hawk said, hey, kid. And this time I wasn't terrified. I said, yes, sir. He said, what are you going to be when you grow up? And no, I was 15 at that time. I said, well, I'm not sure. He said, you want to be a wrestler, kid? Sure, I only have to gain 100 pounds. And he said, think you could do it? I said, well, he says, I think you can do it. One of the top, probably 6 foremost experts on professional wrestling from my never to be humble point of view, in the world of all time. One of the top bookers, one of the top professional wrestlers, one of the greatest minds in professional wrestling, and one of the greatest in-ring wrestlers.
Mhm.
Rip Hawk just told me he's the epitome of experts. And he just told me he thought that I could do it.
Mm.
Who was I to argue with him? Anyway, so I had wrestled in North Carolina. I'll tell you the whole story. I beat George Becker in the middle of the ring, dastardly, took several cheap shots. People did not like me. Knives came out.
Oh.
And at that, that's not a big deal, though. That happened all the time. I was shot at twice. I had the windshield shot out of my car.
Oh, my God.
And I think it was Mississippi. After the matches, the police came up to me and they said, Mr. Riddle, we're going to walk with you to your car. You know that we just want to talk to you for a moment. I said, oh, okay. Did I do anything wrong? I didn't hit one of the fans, did I? By accident, when they got close, I went back with my elbow. It was a pure accident. No.
Right.
He said, Mr. Riddle, do you remember the guy in the wheelchair with the blanket in his lap, over his lap? I said, yeah, the one who says he's going to kill me. They said, yeah. He had a gun under the blanket, and he said his intention was to kill you, was to shoot you. So the cop said, so Rock, you, if you feel like you owe us a favor. I said, yes, anything. Thank you. At that match in North Carolina, where I beat George Becker and the knives came out, I used to chase people who pull knives on me. I would chase them into a hostile crowd, take the knives away, and then discipline them. And I'm not going to say here how that, if you want to talk about that in a future episode, let me know. I'll talk to you off the air first and say, can we talk about this? Is this going to be a little bit too much?
Graphic.
Or is it? Yeah. I mean, if you talk
Hello.
down like this, looking at him in the eyes, and he knows that at any minute moment I could pop it out. Never did, of course. I mean, if that's too graphic, we couldn't talk about that.
Right.
Protecting the business. How wonderful.
Oh, yes.
There was an African-American gentleman, a tall, thin guy, who was there at the matches in Burlington, North Carolina, when I defeated George Becker. And I was taunting everybody, including him, because that's my job and I do it well. Otherwise, why would people want to kill me?
Mm-hmm.
He had a cane. I'm thinking it's legitimately that he would walk with the cane. On my way out, I could just walk straight to the dressing room and just look over at him and maybe say something like, yeah, take your best shot, whatever. But no, that's not good enough. I had to detour a little bit walking toward him. When I walked toward him, he had the cane up. When I walked toward him, he had no choice but to come down with it. When he did, I just did Yuichiro and Shorin Karate. That's background, Kodokan Judo, a little bit of Aikido. I just did a power block like this, broke the cane over my arm. And I just very gently put my hand on his chest and helped him sit back down. And the newspaper said I knocked him over. Newspaper said I knocked him over 8 rows of chairs, but that Now I'm in the dressing room. This is at the National Guard Armory, totally sold out, no standing room, nothing.
Wow.
I'm in the National Guard Armory. In the basement are the dressing rooms, at least mine was. And I'm in there with some pretty special people, pretty decent names. And it's like you look up here, I'm sitting down, I look up here, and that's the bottom of the window. And on the other side is the ground. So it's sort of a semi-basement first floor.
Mm-hmm.
I heard a knock at the door. Police. I said, okay, I'm going to jail. Because I pushed this fan. I pushed him down. Okay, how's this going to look? Think promotion, think business all the time, always protecting the business. How's this going to look? Well, I think it would look good to be in jail for 2 or 3 days if I have to. Yeah. So, because I was looking at that window saying, I can get out that window and run.
Mhm.
No, you don't really run. I mean, I've got a degree in criminology and law enforcement, and I think I'm going to run from law enforcement. I don't think so.
Mhm.
And guys are looking at me and they said, what do we do? I said, let him in or let them in, however many there are. They opened the door and there's this, I think, sergeant standing there. He says, Mr. Riddle. I said, yes. He says, the fellow out here with the cane.
You knew.
Yeah. What do you want us to do with him? Don't smile, Rock. Don't smile. Don't let them see you smiling. Excuse me? Yeah, the guy who hit you with the cane. What do you want us to do with him? Do you want to press charges? I said, I'll tell you what. Just talk to him, scare him a little bit and let him go because he really meant no harm. And then, yes, sir, thank you. Closed the door and I fell down to the floor. He's like, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Anyway, finish up this one story. 5 years after, when I come back and I do that with George Becker and beat him and have the little front page story, law enforcement called all of the law enforcement around in all of the surrounding counties saying, we think we need more help. There's going to be a major riot. It's already started. No, it was under control. They didn't need that. But the next day I was in that barber shop again. Barber's behind me. Again, 236 pounds of twisted steel and section steel, 18.5-inch arm, cold, natural. Ooh. Wonder if, there's something called muscle memory. I wonder if I can get that back to that size. Might be interesting to give it a shot since I have, it looks like September. I can't say who it is, but I will tell you if I make this happen. I don't know if my 10-year undefeated streak is going to continue. All I can tell you is you almost messed it up there. Okay. Totally. See, I have you guys on the monitor over there. I have me on the monitor right there. So you'll see I'm looking at me a lot more than I am you. And of course the camera's right there. So I can look at the people right there. Now, what was I going to say? Oh, if I arrange it, if I can pull this off in September, I cannot tell you who my opponent will be. All I can say is the man is a beast. Okay, now, some people say, wait a minute, do you mean? Nope. Probably a lot of beasts in this business. A lot of beasts. The barber is behind me. He has clippers, the scissors in one hand, the shear, I guess you call it, clippers in the other hand. And he's just standing there. He's not cutting my hair. It's just like frozen. And then he puts them down and he walks around, gets in front of me. And he says, boy, you done it. My God, I'll tell you what, I don't think nothing's impossible no more. And I said, bingo. As a private pilot, I can tell you that bumblebees are incapable of flight. They are aerodynamically unsound. Their wings are too short. Their bodies are too big and fat. They are aerodynamically unsound. It is impossible, according to all known aeronautical and scientific knowledge, it is totally impossible for them to fly. End of statement. Well, let's add one more in. Bumblebees don't know that they cannot fly, so they fly anyway. Most people know they cannot achieve their dreams, so they can't. Look at this. Kid who weighed 130 pounds, who was picked on by bullies, who was incredibly shy, went on to become a fairly well-known professional wrestler, averaging about $250,000 a year. Not a lot, but $250,000 a year is not bad. It beats working for a living. And selling out major arenas all over the United States, up into Canada.
That's awesome.
I don't know what else to tell you there. And now I go whenever I'm asked and I can arrange it in my schedule. I teach how to do promos. I teach professional wrestling
Mhm.
because a majority of younger people, yes, younger than my 40 years, uh, 47, July 12, 1973. So that's 47.
Ooh.
Yes, I know. I know.
Wow.
But can you believe that someone could get to be that old? People don't believe it. I say that. They say, that's not possible. You couldn't possibly be over 35. Maybe 39. I'll do the old Jack Benny thing of 39. So I gave you that. Everything's possible. Conceive, believe, achieve. Just get out of your own way. So,
Yes, sir.
what other question do you have for me? We answered one question so far on this show. One question.
One. Go ahead, Andrew.
I got one for you, Rock.
With a 15-minute time limit. Yes.
Exactly.
How do you view wrestling when you wrestled in the 70s versus today?
Okay. I have to censor myself to see. I'm thinking, can I mention? We have it copyrighted. Anyone tries to steal it, I will come after you. We're doing a feature film. It's called When Wrestling Was Real. It's about late 1970s, early 1980s professional wrestling. So what was the question? The difference between then and now?
Yes.
Yeah.
Or my feelings about it? Hey, if I want to go see a gymnastics competition, I'll go to a gymnastics competition. I'm not going to go to professional wrestling,
Wow.
looking for professional wrestling and see a bunch of people jumping around doing a dance recital. If I want to see a dance recital, I'll go to a dance recital. I also want to know who the person is. If I sit in the audience, and when I go to different promotions and teach and stuff, here's one of the things I'll do. Maybe this will answer. I will get everybody lined up, all of the students. And some of them have been wrestling professionally for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And some of them have just had their first match. And some of them are yet to have their first match. And I will say, okay, here's what we're going to do. Everybody get on the ring apron. I want you to face me. I want you to pay a lot of attention because I'm going to take the first person. We're going to circle around. We're going to tie up. And we may not even get to that point. But I want you to watch very, very carefully. Circle around. Maybe tie up, maybe not. I'll say, stop. Okay. Who is this guy? You've never seen him before. Who is he? Do you like him? Do you care if he wins or loses? Is he a generic cookie cutter wrestler, the same as the other 15 who came out in the earlier events? Is this going to be a good time for you to go to the snack bar? Are you emotionally invested in this person? Do you know if he's a good guy, a bad guy, or what some people call a tweener, an in-between type person? Tell me about him. Okay, now, when he and I circled, does he believe he can defeat me? I told you ahead of time, I want you to watch the faces. Watch us very carefully. What did his face tell you? Because this will make you money. This makes you so much money. So, does he think he can defeat me? Is he afraid of me? Is he confident? Does he believe in himself? Is he going to give me a run for my money? Is it possible he will defeat me? Is it likely he will defeat me? Does he like me? Etc. Now, and usually there's some difficulty because people are like, they're just there.
Right.
They have so much emotion. Wow. Oh, I just got hit. Ow. Oh, jeez. So then I'll say, okay, turn it around. What about me? Am I afraid of him? No. Do I like him? No. Am I going to hurt him? Very possibly. Is he, etc. And it's Are you emotionally invested? Do you want to see him in the ring, or would you just as soon the next person come up and he and I wrestle?
Yes.
Yeah, that's it. Okay, so the three of us, we're sitting, I don't know how they made this happen, but we're in imaginary. We're sitting at ringside. Promotion has paid us a bunch of money to evaluate people. Second match. I'm so bored. You probably are too. Look at all of these amazing moves, and look at all these what people call finishing moves. Oh, this guy just kicked out of something that put a guy a few years ago in the hospital. Wow, isn't that amazing? Okay, and now we're the three of us. We're watching the second match. Mm-hmm. I look at you and I say, that's the same thing that was done in the other match, isn't it? Is that the same person? Didn't we just see, did the same two come out again? Because they're all cookie cutter versions of each other.
Yes,
there's no uniqueness.
Right.
They are boring, 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 boring. And here comes someone who's different. Well, I want to be like everybody else. Idiot. No one, you'll never make any money in this business. Nothing, nothing, nothing. Okay. I want to be unique. Okay, let's talk. If I am emotionally invested, by the time the wrestlers come through the curtain, in the first couple of seconds, I can tell you whether I like the person, whether I don't like the person, or whether I'm already bored and want to get this thing over with. And hopefully the next two who come through the curtain will have something going. If someone comes through the curtain, I should be able, and I've never met them before, never seen them before, have no idea who they are. I should be able to know instantaneously there should be a connection. Either this is a cocky, condescending scumbag person who is seriously looking down his nose at me. I don't think he wants to do that, but okay, fine. He's the bad guy. And here comes someone who's not going out of his way, running around and slapping everybody's hand, because that tells the people that he's a good guy. No, just be the good guy. You do that. I want you to get squashed. I don't care. I said, okay, gee, I've never seen that before. Except for 3 more times tonight in the first 3 matches. So I do something every Wednesday night for a website called Snake Pit Pro. It is for professional wrestlers only, or professional wrestling students. All must be vetted. It's a private, what do you call that? Private page, a private group. Yeah. And I do, let me do this. Spotlights look so good. Let me put a wrestling ring there.
Yeah.
I got hundreds of them. What can I tell you? You're probably saying, that's a really nice tie, Rock. That's nice. Why didn't you just have a t-shirt on? I mean, you're trying to impress the people? I represent professional wrestling. You want me to represent professional wrestling in cutout jeans and a t-shirt? I don't think so. You see, there's something called class that is supposed to be associated with professional wrestling. So obviously there's a lot of stuff that uses the word wrestling or wrestling entertainment or some crap, stuff like that. And it's not professional wrestling. I think we should sue some people. We should sue some promotions that use the word professional wrestling, then there's no wrestling.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Mesmerize me. I do color commentary for a Southern California promotion for their television show, Empire Wrestling Federation. And it looks like finally, maybe, even the People's Republic of California is going to open up a teeny bit, and our lords and masters are going to grant us peasants the opportunity to maybe have wrestling in person. Maybe they're thinking about it. Maybe. Gee, thank you very much, because I don't have enough common sense to decide whether I want to be around people or not, whether I want to wear some sort of a garment or not. Oh, you want me to put the muzzle? Okay, here I am. You're not going to muzzle me, folks. And that's about as political as I'm going to get. There's, again, freedom of speech is gone. Freedom of thought now is gone. Let's dig up something that this person said in jest 22 years ago and ostracize them. And now look at all of the things that are going on. And I just got worked, probably because otherwise I would not say that if I had not fallen into it. Okay, last political statement. And I'm going to do it backward. Right wing, left wing, same bird.
Nice. That's a good one.
If you got, we know some of you who are actual professional wrestlers understand the word work. Fans think they understand it. And I promise something to say to the fans who've never been in the ring. If you have never been in a professional wrestling ring, wrestling in front of thousands of people, hundreds of times, you have no idea what it is to be a professional wrestler. Zero. What you think you know is so far off. Do you know what hurts in the ring? What falls hurt? All of them. This is something that amazes young people who are attempting to get into the business. Is it, oh my gosh, that hurts. Yeah, of course it hurts. It's not ballet, it's professional wrestling. But I thought there were like springs under the ring and it was like a trampoline. Okay. Tell the wrestling promoter you'd like to go early sometime and help set up the ring. Look how thick those boards are.
Exactly.
Right.
Exactly.
These two are a different color. Why are they a different color? Because they got knocked out the ring. Hundreds of scars if you have me large like you should, instead of having Willie there as the big picture. Maybe I'm big on everybody else. Get you off of there. I was going to do this brilliant thing. Is what I am seeing right now on my monitor, is this what everyone else is seeing? And that would be, Andrew, you're in a green screen and I can see, hey, I feel good. My green screen, I got a little halo around there because the lighting's not right. Yours is even worse.
I don't even have one, so I can't say no.
But you are so incredibly good looking. You don't really need anything to distract from you.
Oh, thank you.
Okay, we were saying, what were we talking about before? Oh, you were supposed to be showing me large so that I could show you the indentation here and the over 100 scars on my face and teeth knocked out and all that sort of stuff. One of the things when I do that 2-hour show once a week, which is just me, and I'm talking to professional wrestlers. Again, Snake Pit Pro. So if you're a wrestler, and you'll have to be vetted. I don't talk to fans. I talk to fans here. But on that, it's totally different. It's talking to the boys. And it's hopefully getting to them. And I think I have in many cases, and letting them know how they are sabotaging their potential careers, things of that sort. You need to be able to talk on that microphone. So if this is the microphone, actually, that's the microphone right there. Want to see the microphone?
There we go.
Whoa, and look what happened to me. And I said, I was talking about your lighting being bad. Mine is directly just to make, holy mackerel. I have been doing this entire thing without my super secret special light that makes my face even more beautiful. Did you just see it change? Turn it off. Turn it back on. Yeah.
Okay.
Some people need it, some people don't. Can you tell that I'm sleep deprived?
Oh, God.
1 out of 100 people can do this.
Oh no.
1 out of
Come on,
100
dude.
people can do this.
No.
Oh my gosh, look at that. The,
The green
All right.
screen is in your mouth.
That's it. That's it.
Wow. Nice.
But as long as I keep my mouth closed, I look so good. All right.
But yeah.
Did I answer that question sufficiently?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Go back and take a look at videotapes. Take a look at matches on YouTube. Take a look at people like Harley Race. Take a look at people like Terry Funk,
Mm-hmm.
like Jack Briscoe. Go back and look at the masters. Whenever I do the Wednesday night podcasts on Snake Pit Pro,
Mm-hmm.
a lot of times I will have a video. If I want to, because whenever I'm showing a video, it tends to take away from me, but I can stick myself in the corner anyway. But I will show those sometimes, and I can stop them, and I can say, look at this. Look how brilliant this is. I will stop and say, I don't know. Several decades of background and many, many thousands of matches and well over 1,000 television shows, live shows, and all this other stuff. And I just saw a move. I don't know what it is. I said, somebody tell me what that is. That looks, and Khosrow Vaziri, who became the Iron Sheik, was doing that early in his career. So I showed 2 videos, one of the Iron Sheik, one of Khosrow Vaziri wrestling, and then one several years later as the Iron Sheik.
Mm-hmm.
So people loved him at the beginning. He became the Iron Sheik and people hated him. But he did a throw. I said, okay, it's a combination judo throw, hooking the arm. He's doing a leg sweep at the same time. His right leg, and he's hooked the left elbow. And one thing is for certain, if that other wrestler did everything he could to prevent himself from being thrown, he would be on the mat real fast anyway. Mm-hmm. But just to see how this crazy, let's do a triple somersault off the top rope onto the table beside the ring and pile drive the person through the, okay. Why? Because I can do it and I want to show everybody everything I can do. Next.
Right.
Next.
I have a question, Riddle Rock. What is
Riddle Rock?
Riddle Rock, yeah. What is your take on promoters on promoters like not really paying the wrestlers? And then back in the day, did that happen to you?
No. Back in the day, it did not. I made good money. I worked for Nick Goulas. Everybody hated Nick Goulas. He was the promoter out of Nashville, Tennessee, running all the states around there. And the boys would complain. They would say that Nick paid real badly. He would only pay them enough money so that they didn't starve and lose weight, but he wouldn't pay them enough money that they'd have enough gas money to go out to a different section of the country and wrestle. I made money with Nick Goulas. I made money with everybody. And I worked mid-card. I worked semifinal. I worked main event. I had top billing over the heavyweight championship of the world at one point. Jack Briscoe, world heavyweight wrestling champion, versus Ken Mantell, world junior heavyweight wrestling champion. They were having a contest to come up with the undisputed heavyweight champion of the world. They were semifinal. I was main event. And in these major arenas, just tell me when we're getting short on time. And in these major, otherwise I'll keep talking all night. In these major arenas, like Chicago's International Amphitheater, the Sweetie Pie boys are way on that side. Their dressing rooms are over there. We he-men, we people, the bad guys. I might use a different term if I were doing my Wednesday night thing with only boys listening, but I'm going to say we the bad guys. Rock, are you a lifelong bad guy? Absolutely. I could never wrestle any other way. How boring it would be to be on the other side. Well, a lot of people go back and forth. Yeah, a lot of people are not me. Man got to know his limitations too. Be on the good guy side, you probably need to have some wrestling ability more than I have. Oh no, you have to know how to wrestle to do that. But a bad guy. Anyway, over on one side was Jack Briscoe. And I guess it was the referee. Well, it was the referee who would somehow go all around the building and come over and said, "Okay, you're on last, Rock." And then of course I knew that. I said, you're going to go back over there to the other side? He says, yes. I said, Jack Briscoe's over there? He says, yes. I said, I got something I want you to take to him. So I took a picture out, my picture, and I said, to little Jackie Briscoe, hang in there, kid. One day, if you work hard enough, you'll be main event, just like me. Signed, your hero, Rock, Mr. Wonderful Riddle. So that was taken. And of course, Jack has left us now, but I was told before his untimely death, I was told by a friend who had visited him that that he still had that picture up on his wall. And I think that is,
Wow.
whether that's true or not, I love that mental image of having that up there, because the man had at that point had forgotten about 20 times more about professional wrestling than I would ever know.
Wow.
What sells me is my ability to talk on the mic, my understanding of human psychology, crowd psychology, wrestling psychology, the face. I've done a bunch of film and television roles, and I don't have it in my blood. I don't really care about doing it. And I turn it down whenever possible. Whenever you guys go to rockriddle.info and you scroll down, you look at that. Unchained is the name of the film.
Yeah. Eric
Eric Roberts and myself. And you click on it, it takes you to the trailer. What you'll see is my additional take. The producer, 67-time award-winning producer director, Raffaello sent me an email, and he says, Rock, I really want you in my film. And I sent an email back, and I said, no, thank you very much. I don't have the time. I don't care. I don't hardly ever visit my Hollywood office. I work out of my home in Redlands, California now. I'd like to stay away from Hollywood unless I have to go there. And you know so many people, I said to Raffaello, you know so many people. I mean, you're so well known, and you've got to know hundreds and hundreds of actors, and I'm sure they care. They would jump at the opportunity. They'd be so grateful to do that role. And I'm sure you've got a bunch of them who could do a lot better with it than I could. So please, I'll never say no to you, my friend, as my friend. If you're really in a bind, you let me know. But please give people the opportunity who would really appreciate it before you come back to me. I got an email back, and he says, Rock, honestly, there is no one who can do it better.
Wow.
Nice.
And I said, what's my call time? When do you need me? I went out there, and he, as the director, he said, Rock, you can do all of your stuff in an hour. I said, yeah, if the camera's rolling for an hour straight, probably. He said, after lunch, we're going to do your stuff. I said, okay. I said, Raffaello, I've memorized all of the lines exactly the way you wrote them. And he says, oh, make it your own, Rock. I said, okay, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do it with your words. He says, well, I had you in mind when I wrote it, and I knew you'd sort of change it. I said, let me do it with your words exactly the way. And when we get down, when you have everything you need, give me one more take to do something different. He said, okay. The one more take that I did is what ended up in the film and ended up in the trailer. And now there've been 2 more trailers made, and I'm in that one also. And it's just because I did not try to take any power away, but I said, after you have everything, if you'd like, I'll give you one. I've got a little idea. So when you take a look at that, you'll say, now you'll know. That's something that Rock Riddle made up on the spot and did it, and it ended up in the film, and everybody liked it.
Nice.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I turned down usually 2 to 3 offers for film and television in the average month, or in an average month, just because I don't have it in my blood. I don't want to do it. Every once in a while, a producer friend will say, Rock, I wrote this for you. I need you to do it. Can't you get somebody else? But it's a nice compliment. Nice compliment. And
I have one.
Yeah,
I'm
please.
sorry. I have one last question. Me personally,
Last question.
As a kid, I was growing up watching the Gong show.
Yes.
And I read that you were the only wrestler to go on a Gong show, man. How did that happen?
Living in Hollywood and working as a publicist with people in the entertainment industry. So a lot of things overlapped. An actress told me, she said, this guy, Chuck Barris, has come up with this real crazy new show, and you can do outrageous stuff. And they have professionals who get paid as professional talent, and they have amateurs who get like gifts and stuff. You should do something. I said, I'm wrestling. I don't need that. I'm not an actor. You go do it. And they said, well, you should watch one of the shows. So I watched one of the shows, and I said, okay, I'll do something. I put together a routine, if you will, where I'm singing. I have my wrestling gear on, my Tarzan top, multicolored, and all this sort of thing. I'm singing, breaking boards. I have my assistant who looks like a magician. She's in a magician's assistant, sexy costume, blonde lady, pretty lady. In fact, I used a couple of different ones. One went on to star in a bunch of films. And so I'm doing all this. I have a dummy that I made. I just took old clothes and stuffed them and made a dummy. Don't remember where I got the head. I think some lady gave it to me, and she had it to put wigs on or something. So I'm beating up the dummy at the same time, doing an elbow drop. And the official photographer, got a picture of me doing that elbow drop. And you guys, if you look, you can find it somewhere online. And it's probably on my Facebook, which is closed to everybody. And if you want to be a friend, send me a friend request and a message.
Yes.
And unless you've got weird stuff on your site, political one way or the other, if you don't have political stuff on there, because then if I accept you, I'm associated with your weird beliefs. Even if they're great beliefs, it doesn't matter. I believe in overthrowing the United States government by violent means. I don't think I can be your friend if that's on your Facebook page. And if you have any color with the name Power after it, I don't think I can do that either. I can wish you well in whatever you want to do. And I might even agree with some of the stuff, but no one knows where I stand politically. People think they know, but I don't fit into a category. I have people, as a firearms instructor, I have people who say, you're so liberal. I said, okay. Why? Because I think people should have 200 hours of professional instruction before they have a permit to carry. Yeah, because we have a right. Yeah. So I am sort of torn, but I never would have carried before I had 200 hours of top professional instruction and actually mastered. And I shoot competitively now, and I do a lot of different things. A lot of different things are fun. I would like to have 5,000 more years in this body. It's in pretty good shape. And with 5,000 years, I could build it into something amazingly better. Just to learn the things. I'd like to learn different things. I'd like to, of course, as a private pilot, I'd like to get my CFII, Certified Flight Instructor. I instruct the instructors. That would be sort of cool. Yeah. I do a lot of things just to have them. Look, I've got a file drawer. Must be one of the files must be about that thick with what do you call it? With plaques. I could show you that wall over there, but I'm not going to turn the camera and probably mess up things. But certificates and all sorts of things, master class, and all these different awards and things in the firearms industry, in the wrestling business. I've got some great stuff, and I don't have and I've got a large home, and I don't have enough wall space to put all that stuff up. So I think I have to buy another home. So go to PayPal and pay to the order of rock@hollywoodsuccess.com. Hold on just a moment. Right. I want you to give me a big picture.
Okay. There we go. There we go. Rock, where can people find you on social media? Wait.
Your donations make these events possible. At PayPal, contribute to rock@hollywoodsuccess.com. Thank you. And if you do, I'll talk to you. And if you don't, I won't. Now let me get that off the screen. How can people get in touch with me? How about through the website, rockriddle.info. I had to think about it. I've got a bunch of different websites. Did not want to give you the wrong one. Rockriddle.info. Rockriddle.info.
All right. There you go, folks. That's where you can find Rock Riddle. You can find us on Twitter at @A_C_podcast.
Wait a minute. Too many underscores. Underscore what? What's the last one?
@A_C_ podcast.
Underscore. Is that all?
That's it. Only three.
Only 3 underscores.
Only 3.
Now, was the underscore under the A or beside the A?
Beside.
So there's wait. Now there's put it back up. Okay, there's an underscore between A and C, but you can't have the and in it. And then there's another underscore after the C in front of the podcast.
Yes.
And that's something called Twitter. Wait a minute. How come you're still on Twitter? Most people I know, they've been kicked off. You better not have any opinions. You better not go against. Don't go against any of the propaganda. Oh my gosh.
Rock Riddle, I want to say thank you for taking the time out of your day to meet with me and Chili Willy.
But yes. I thought we just got started. I'll buy more time, as I used to say on live television.
Oh,
I'll buy more time.
We got to do another episode, definitely.
Yes, sir.
All right. Assuming this check clears for this one.
Okay.
Pay me the other. Wow. Why is that funny? Hello, I'm calling you. My name is John. I'm calling you from the Philippines, and you have a problem on your computer.
Yeah, you need to get here to the Philippines. We'd love to have you over here.
Definitely. I'll come over. Hey, can I carry concealed over there?
No, you don't want to do that.
Oh man.
Not with the president here. He doesn't play. He's no joke.
Oh man.
Follow the law here.
Can I bring these?
Yeah. You can bring those. Yeah, definitely. You can bring those.
Now, what happens if somebody else, some bad guy, decides they want to shoot me? I have to use these?
No, you're a foreigner. They won't do that to us. They love us over here.
Yeah, I know. I hear really good things, and
they're really good people. Really, really good people.
So, you're probably the meanest of the good people, right?
No. I stay low key. I stay very low key.
They haven't caught you yet, have they?
No, they haven't.
If that check and that amount you're putting into PayPal, rock@hollywoodsuccess.com is the PayPal. Yeah, did I mention that before? When you put more money in there, then I can forget about talking to the authorities there about inside information I know about you. How long have you been laundering money through this podcast thing?
I wish.
Yeah. Oh, so you could handle some more.
No. Yes,
hey, yeah. I'll tell Rocco Michael Franzese. Actually, I can't do that because he passed away, but he was a good friend. That's another story for another day. Buy my book.
Yeah.
Send
There
me
we
money.
go.
Definitely.
Buy me a jet.
Yes.
Buy me a private island in the Western Caribbean.
Nice.
Yes, sir. Ladies and gentlemen, you heard it here first. Rock Riddle. Find him at rockriddle.info. Find us on Twitter,
The legend.
_C_podcast _
It's like the cookie cutter wrestlers hearing the
Oh,
underscore,
man.
underscore.
Not underscore. Kick out. Kick out.
One tackle,
Underscore.
down, hip toss, 2 arm drags.
Kick out.
All right, I'm tired of you guys now, so I'm leaving.
Wow. Thank you again, Rock.
Thank you, sir.
It really
It was
My
a
pleasure.
It was
My
a
pleasure.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.